Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back on our Fortnite video, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to edit faster here in Fortnite. These are going to be some of the things that I have been utilizing for the past few weeks that has greatly helped me when it comes to improving the speed at which I build and also the speed at which I'm editing. So these tips will definitely help you guys out as well, because they definitely help me out when it comes to these aspects of the game. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I'm going to be giving away 2,000 V-Bucks. And if you guys want a chance to enter this giveaway, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel, turn on my post notifications, and also leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And you guys will be automatically entered into my next giveaway, which I'm giving away 2,000 V-Bucks. If you guys want some free V-Bucks, make sure you guys do enter into the giveaway. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so here in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks that I use specifically to help me improve the speed at which I'm able to edit. So these tips right here are going to help you guys edit a lot faster in Fortnite. So if you are looking for some very good tips and some different things to practice when it comes to editing, this is going to be the video for you guys. So here is probably one of the biggest things that I have been doing for the past few weeks that I feel like has really helped me improve my my editing speed and just everything overall when it comes to editing, building, all that kind of good stuff in this game, mechanics wise. So the first thing that I started working on that I think a lot of you guys should be practicing as well is going to be box fights. Doing box fights is just one of those things that really helps you improve editing a lot, because I do recommend doing editing courses from time to time. I think there are a very good way to practice, but when it comes to doing an editing course versus doing box fights, when you're doing an editing course, you have a very set amount of edits. You have pretty much all the time in the world to go for the edit. Versus in a box fight, you're going to be going for a lot of the exact same edits. But the trick is, and the catch is, when you're in box fights, it's a lot more practical because you're going to be using the same type of edits, but you're going to be using them against other players, because you guys know when you're editing and creative or editing in an editing course versus fighting someone, it's completely different. The edits have to be a lot quicker, have to be a lot smoother, and sometimes you have to go for an edit where you're completely off balance. You're completely on the wrong side. It's not exactly where you have to go. You have to make a lot of split second decisions when it comes to editing in order to make the best play. So when it comes to box fights and when it comes to box fights and practicing editing, I think this is a very powerful and a very good way to improve, just because there's a lot more unpredictability with it. And also in box fights, you have quick movements that you have to do. You have to be really quick on the feet, and editing is going to improve a lot greater. And this is something that I've noticed for myself, so, just trying out keyboard and mouse. For the past few weeks, I've just been mousing around keyboard and mouse. I'm not permanently switching or anything like that, but I've been messing around. I made a, settings video the other day with keybinds, but when I practice keyboard and mouse, when I practice in creative, I had pretty good 90s. I'm not like the best player by any means. I had pretty good 90s. My building is alright. My editing wasn't bad whatsoever. But when it came to actually using them in a public match game, or even using them in box fights, I completely choked. I was all over the place. I was messing up a ton, because when it comes to these type of situations, it's a lot more. I'm trying to figure out the word. It's a lot more demanding. It's a lot more, thinking on the feet, because you have to make a lot of quick second decisions, and you also might have to go for edits that are not going to be the most comfortable for that situation. So it's going to force you to improve very quickly. So box fights, I think, are going to be one of the #1 ways that you guys can improve your editing, and it's been the absolute #1 way for me to improve my editing. I also do a lot of creative and 1v1 build fights. This definitely focus on editing and also building at the same time, but there is kind of a lot of both. Box fights are really heavily focused on editing, so if that's really your main goal, then I would recommend grabbing some friends, hopping in some box fights. And there's a lot of maps you guys can find and a lot of other YouTube videos where you can find maybe the best box fight map for you, because there's a ton of them out there. If you are looking for some box fights, just grab a couple friends. I mean, you can easily find ones where you have a 1v1v1 where you have 4 of your friends, 3 of your friends. You can even do teams. Different things like that is a very fun and easy way to improve at your editing, and there's a lot of courses out there and different ones you can do. The one I had at the beginning was kind of like a tournament one where if you end up killing the player you're going against, then you would go on to the next player, and there was like a couple teams. So that one I wouldn't 100% recommend because there's a lot of, if you end up losing, then you sit out for a little bit. Better ones, just one is a map where you're constantly having different rounds, and you're able to, maybe if you want to have teams, you just want to do 1v1s against your friends, then you can do that very easily, and then it resets every single time. Maybe just have like a shotgun, assault rifle, and some minis. That can also be a very, very good map to have. And like I mentioned earlier, I've really moved away from just doing strictly editing courses and things like that. I do really think they are a very good way to practice editing, but I just feel like as much as Fortnite's getting as far as the skill level, and especially when you go against the PC players that just sweat their tits off with building and editing, you really do have to stay on top of your game, and you really do have to be as fast as you possibly can if you want to be able to compete with them in a building and editing aspect. So, and the only way to do that is to really just practice against other really good players, and also just practice in something that's very heavily editing based. So, for example, box fights, like I mentioned probably 1,000 times in this video, very, very good way to improve in that aspect. And instead of just having a set course where you're running through it and you have all the time in the world, you don't have to have any quick thinking. You may not have to go for different, because it's really just a lot of consistency and a lot of just over and over again. And if you want to be able to improve, you have to be able to adapt to other people's playstyles, because I know a lot of people who go for a certain type of edits. PC players go for a lot of snag the wall, and then they'll place the ramp in there, flip it, and then go for the shot. I see that all the time from PC players. And then when it comes to controller players, a lot of quick window edits, maybe side shots, things like that are things you definitely have to look out for with controller players. So different players have different editings, and if you want to be able to counter other players, you can't have the exact same edits. You have to be able to adapt to their playstyle, and once you adapt to their playstyle, you're going to be able to go for different edits that are specifically going to outplay that player. And I feel like editing courses don't do it justice when it comes to the different playstyles that people have, and also the different edits and the variety of edits that you have to go through, and the variety of edits that you have to use to be able to win consistently in this game. So I'm really going to be focusing a lot more in recent videos when it comes to the aspect of being able to think very fast, going for quick plays versus just mechanically improving. So like when you see, for example, when you see a bunch of courses when you practice your aim against bots, I really don't think that's very, very effective, because in an actual game, there's going to be people jumping in all sorts of directions. There's going to be people who maybe jump up. They might go unpredictable route, or they might go left or right. And when you are fighting bots, or you're just practicing your aim on bots in a creative aiming map, the really big downside, it's super predictable. It's very easy to line up your shot because you have all the time in the world. You don't have other people shooting at you. You don't have to worry about them building in an instant after you shoot them, and you have more than enough time to line up your shot, and it's just very not hard to do. And plus, aim assist might be a little bit different depending on, I'm not sure if the actual players versus the bots, if the aim assist is the same, but that can also be a problem as well. So I feel like the same thing with editing. You can practice your editing. Maybe you can get very, very good at aiming when it comes to bots. You can get very, very good at editing courses. But when it comes to actually fighting other players in game, at editing, when it comes to actually fighting other players, when it comes to your aim, it's just going to be night and day, the difference in speed that you have to have, and also the muscle memory and just improvement that you have to do in order to just consistently outplay players in this game, especially with the Winter Royale thing coming up. I know a lot of you guys are going to be heading into that, just for fun. I'm definitely going to be playing with one of my friends, Tantrum, in it. That's the same kind of 1v1, kind of just for fun. But we're going to be heading into it, and editing and building is something that I really need to work on. As a player, I'm not bad by any means, but I feel like it's an aspect of my game that I could really improve on a lot, specifically editing. Building, not so much. I feel like I'm pretty good at that. But as far as editing, sometimes I feel like I'm missing shots that I should be hitting. So there always is room to improve with any aspect, any sort of mechanic you have, game sense, aiming, building, anything in the game. I feel like there's always room for improvement. So as far as editing, I think box fights are going to be the new meta and also the new way to go. So that's why I would highly recommend practicing, and the best way and fastest way to improve your editing here in Chapter 2. And with that being said, that is going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys found this video helpful, if it helped you out, make sure you guys do drop a like. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.